Yeah, let's see if we can get the hell out of here. We're still not out of danger zone, apparently. A piercing howl cuts through the silence of the empty station. It's distant, but probably won't be for long. Better move and move quickly. Shit, I hate dealing with guard dogs. But we need to pick up at the pace, or we'll be up to our ears in enemy mods. New entry, condemned area. This control panel seems to be connected to the backup generators powering the disused section of the old central MTR station. The readouts indicate that backup batteries have sufficient power to keep the lights on, but the remainder of the power is devoted to operating secondary doors. If you could turn this off, you could prevent knight-errant forces from getting in, except from the way you can. Shit. Well, shit. Intelligence pays off again. Enemies incoming. Turret. Well, shit. Yeah, we're right there in the open. Yeah, this is bad. Like real fucking bad. What the hell am I controlling? More importantly, where is she? Got it. There. This is bad. Oh shit. Mages are the real damage dealers. Don't exactly boast the turrets are harmless either, but might have been better going here first. Maybe we could have done something to the turrets. Yeah, you are fucked. So, getting around that. There's not enough cover here for everyone. It's not like they're in a good position either. Rigger. Conjurer is bad news, real bad news if he gets the blasted thing out. Probably going to get company from this side too. Yeah, the situation isn't so bad yet. Rigger has to die. That's... Narc. Good. Mage is the big problem. So another hit and he's out of the turn. Suppose we need to start attacking the turrets too. Good. Speed is everything. We know there are enemies coming our way. Fuck. I'm in bad shape. What about you? Some good cover. I don't want to stay here. Chances of hitting him are very low anyway from this point. Guess I'll try to cover our rear. Jesus Christ. Chances of hitting him are just so low. if there's truly one thing the AI does badly, is that it gets confused when it's in the middle of enemies. It doesn't really know what to do. Surprised the spirit still works for us, but it's gone. I have to give up the spirit. Not a bad thing at all at this point. Knight errant captain. Yeah, that should help the situation quite a bit. Take him out. Good. At least now we can make progress. There's basically two enemies. One turret, and we don't have to take care of the turret, I think, but we might as well. More reinforcements, without a doubt, coming our way. Yeah, this has to go. Danish spirit, yeah. It's too risky to keep it at this point. And we don't have an enemy here that warrants keeping it anyway. Oh. One can see in it. Gear the turret if you can. Can take him out on the next turn, then we can get the hell out. Hopefully we can get the hell out too. He can't possibly kill anyone really. Yeah, and he, instead of doing damage, he just panics and does whatever. And another one bites the dust. Okay, the subduing is actually quite useful. As you move through the MTR station, several figures move to interrupt your advance. The leader is obvious, a hulking brute of a troll. He cradles a heavy assault rifle in the crook of his cyber arm and reeks of stale cigarettes and casual brutality. The name Steeltooth is stenciled across the black vest beneath his jacket. His eyes narrow as you approach. That's far enough for you, punk. Steeltooth gestures toward you with the barrel of his gun, taking a drag from his cigarette. My crew's had a long night, nerves a little raw, you know, and crunching somebody's face always brightens my mood. Let me speak in small words so you don't misunderstand. He takes a long drag on his cigarette, exhaling the smoke through his nose. Give us the prototype laser or we're gonna kill you so hard your ancestors feel it. Ooh. Ooh. That is a laughable threat. Hmm. Let's talk about this. Talking is my only real strong point. Patrol rolls his eyes, snorting in derision. His tone is sour and sarcastic. We should talk about this. We can be friends. Listen to yourself. It's embarrassing, you whining little baby. Wu thrust his lower jaw out, snarling over his tusks. You think you're tough, jackass. I've eaten burritos that are tougher than you. You're about as scary as a pile of wet kittens. The troll doesn't even favor Wu with a glance. Better keep your dog over there on a shorter leash, man, or he's likely to get put down. Troll takes one last drag from his cigarette before spitting the butt out onto the tiled floor. Right, cigarette's done, which means your time's up. Hand over the prototype. Now. You must be the genius Ares caught breaking in, twice in one night. What are you talking about? Don't be stupid. Joel's shifting stance and wary eyes indicate the depth of his ability to lie, about the same as a puddle. You came in the front door first, and then you came back dressed as a janitor. Hey, shut up, Kay. Just shut up. I was doing legwork, and the suits weren't telling me nothing, so I had to get in and root around a bit, you know? Steeltooth is becoming increasingly agitated. You wanna keep your arms? You don't tell anybody about that. Right. Yeah. This is not gonna work. You had to ditch it back in those caves. KA is right behind us. Bullshit. Nobody claims a payday like that, unless they got no other choice. He fingers his rifle trigger nervously, however. They had guard dogs following us by scent, and the laser had a tracking device on it. No. But then they can still keep following us if I say this. That's not gonna change. The laser had a tracking device on it, we had to ditch it. Ah, hell. Still though, I ain't buying it. Tell you what. We strip search you. If you don't have it, you can be on your way. How's that? The longer you hold us up, the closer they are to killing you too. You kinda got a point there. Shit. Steeltooth looks around nervously, hefting his gun. You sure it had a tracker? You ain't lying to me. Tick tick, man. We've all got to get out of here before the cavalry shows up. Yeah, you're right. A look of comprehension breaks over the troll's face like a dim candle slowly flickering to life. Come on, guys, let's get the hell out of here. MTR train awaits. With it, the promise of safety and freedom from any more unforeseen complications. Jarl nods in appreciation, extending a hand to you. Thanks for all the help tonight. I don't know if I'd have been able to get out of here without you. The world's better off with people like you in it. What will you do now? He shrugs and grins. The usual. Make a handout, get paid, probably take a few more jobs out here. Got a lot of debts to pay off, you know. Nothing's free in this life. Keep safe out there, okay? We all gotta stick together. We don't, we end up with bullets in our backs. Take care, Jarl. MTR train pulls away from the station. You become lost in the crowd. Just another face traveling from central toward Kowloon. Every second puts blessed distance between you and the hornet's nest of knight-errant soldiers you left in your wake. With the data planted and the GPS module in your possession, it seems certain that Ares Asia will place the blame for your run at the doorstep of the Red Dragon Association. The loss of the prototype laser is unfortunate, but allies are often more valuable than gear, especially in the shadows. With any luck, they'll be able to pay you back soon enough. Hmm. We should have a decent amount of karma. Yeah, 21. That's actually quite a lot. Moon transient. The gibbering transient wheels to face you, his eyes bulging out of his skull. He's a young man, probably in his late 30s, but his hair has gone bone white. He reaches toward you with hands hooked into claws, and his entire body begins to tremble. You've seen them, I know it, I can smell it on you. He reaches his hand to his face and claws at his cheeks, his fingernails sticking into his flesh. Devils, the ones that are coming, and the runt that leads the pack. Another turns in and glances over you. He got into town yesterday. Came in on the same boat as we did. Seemed normal enough at the time, but now he's stark raving mad. I'm not mad. His voice is raised into a scream. I've seen them. They're coming. They are on their way here now. Tell me what you've seen. His breath comes in fits and gasps. He claws at his throat and his voice lowers to a whisper. There are hundreds, all different, but all the same. A giant with the legs of a boar and the jaws of a baboon. A woman in jade and gold with 100 blind eyes. A run at the head of the pack, slim and beautiful, with arms like jaws and an ivory crown. Tears spill down his cheek as he sobs piteously. They run in rivulets into the gashes that he tore in his cheeks. They're all coming, all clawing at the gate. She is already slipping through. He seizes up mid-sentence. His eyes roll back in his head and he falls to the pavement. When he hits the ground, he doesn't get up. He isn't breathing. He also disintegrates. I, I think he's dead. Check the pulse. You kneel to press your fingers to the fallen man's neck. Nothing. The transient stares down at the fallen man's body, her brow furrowed. To hell with this place. I'm getting out of here. I know that it's none of my business, but you should do the same. I have business to attend to. Your call. Best of luck. There's probably little things like this if we would just spend the time to look around. But no, no. I'll go and rest and talk to the woman again in the shop, that sort of thing. Hmm, not doing that badly on any of this front. We might want to get better healing items. At the same time, we haven't really been tested. We've had a couple of tough situations, but they would have been tough if we hadn't had the secondary group with us to help us out to take damage. Your payment is a charge. I confess that I am very pleased with your work. It's not every runner who could have pulled off a job of this magnitude. Well done. No pending jobs. Job offer from Isabel. Yeah. Recording of Isabel pops onto the screen. She stares into the camera, her eyes full of intensity. There might be a mission for every NPC companion, so I think I'll talk to all of them. Try to get the missions out of them. In fact, I'd rather go do them immediately, because you never know what's going to happen in the game and when you can't do any more of these. If you're watching this, you've decided to listen to my job offer. That's a good thing. I wasn't convinced that you would. Our target is a local decker, a former Wampoan. In the Matrix, his handle is Rhombus. He has the software that we need. Unfortunately, he is unassailable from the Matrix. Nobody knows where he lives in meat space. I know where he's going to be. There's an event coming up that Rhombus can't afford to miss. He might already be on his way there. As you are reading this message, pickers from all over Asia, white hat and black hat alike, are converging on the Harbor Spires Hotel. This year, Harbor Spires is hosting DeckCon, Hong Kong's largest annual decking convention. Rhombus is going to be there, and that gives us an opportunity. We're going to hit the convention, find him in meat space, and get the software away from him. And we're going to do it quietly. Enclosed, you will find a copy of the plan that I've worked out for the run. Presented in bullet point format, everything should be fairly straightforward. Isabel's image winks off the screen, replaced by a blinking cursor. As you watch, the screen begins to fill with lines of simple instructions. I will provide you with one other runner of your choice with visitor passes for the convention. I will proceed ahead of you using my own guest badge. I will hide in the women's lavatory on the first floor. You will enter via the kitchen and procure me a uniform from the catering staff. Please be sure that the uniform is size 4. We will rendezvous. I will change into the uniform, and using it, I will infiltrate the administrative wing on the 6th floor. You will proceed into the convention hall and wait further instructions. Using the admin computer, I will identify Rhombus via his guest registration form. Once I have done this, I will alert you via comlink. I will upgrade your badge to VIP status, granting you access to the VIP wing of the hotel. You will tell Rhombus that he has been granted VIP status, and offer to escort him to a complimentary hotel room. You will escort him to a room that I designate and hold him there. I will check out the Matrix and make my way from the admin wing to your room. We will intimidate Rhombus, beat the tar out of him until he gives us the software. We will tie and gag Rhombus and stuff him into a storage closet. We will not be gentle. It's okay if he starts crying. Actually, please prioritize this. I want to see the tears. Software in tow, we will make our escape. Wu would probably be a good choice for this. See, it's a simple plan, just like I said. We should be able to get through it without firing a shot. So, will you do it? Could you help me get the software? The pre-recorded footage of Isabel wings off of the screen. A real-time feed of her Matrix avatar replaced it. Excellent, I knew that I could count on you. Settle up, Uncle Bob. This is going to be fun. Stop. For the first time since you got to Hong Kong, you wake up feeling well rested and satisfied. Flexing your limbs feels glorious. It's as though you've spent hours cramped up in a confined space and you can finally stretch your legs. You push yourself up and touch your feet to the ground, but something stops you short. Your mouth. Something is wrong with your mouth. Run your tongue over your teeth. You let your tongue move over your teeth until you reach the problem area. A molar on the upper left side. It feels strange. You apply a little pressure to the tooth and it slides free from its moorings. It's as if nothing was ever holding it in place to begin with. As the tooth comes free in your hand, an image etches itself to your mind. A great chamber, hazy in form and outline. Clouds of red mist that fill the air, perfuming it with salt and copper. Great columns stretch up from the ground to pierce the sky, and above it all, the enormous grinding gears of a broken machine. In the distance you can hear a sound, a desperate frantic pounding, something enormous at the door. Many somethings, all desperate to get in. Scrabbling and scratching and scraping, but unable to find purchase. The way is locked. You feel a tremendous sense of accomplishment. You've done it. The others are trapped outside, blind and starving, unable to pass through the door. The chamber and what lies beyond it are yours. A shrill giggling noise fills the air, like the laughter of a small child mixed with the shivering screech of countless violins. The sound reverberates down your spine like an electric current. The intoxicating aroma of meat fills your nostril. You have been starving for 1,000 years. Soon it will be time to feed. And just like that, it's over. The image fades, dissipating like vapor. Only the tooth in your hand remains. I think I'll talk to the magic shop lady first, and see if I can chat up some of the companions, get more companion quests out of them. Hi there. Still don't have any new. Okay, no new information. Fine. Area FFX spell that increases the cost of magic by 1 action point. I don't think this is a great thing. You'd think you might be able to disable some kind of casters, but usually it's just easier to focus on buffing yourself or your teammates and killing people. The Shadow Zone might be a good thing, in which characters cannot be targeted nor target others, lasts until the beginning of your next turn, so you can basically, I guess, you're in a very shitty situation. Pile up your guys, maybe you don't have cover or something, do whatever you're gonna do with them, then come with this guy and just push the shadow there. Maybe area of effect spells and things can still be shot at you, but you're still in a much more protected form than any other. So that's something generally I can see being useful. I'm still sort of holding back
I'm guessing. Are we gonna get? We're gonna get better equipment, and if I buy this kind of an upgrade, it's not too big of an upgrade, and I can't afford anything better later on. So that's why I'm not buying anything. Spirit fetish, charisma, and spirit control. This might not be a bad idea. I mean, we don't have that many items in the first place. But there might be better ones available. These don't require all that much, they also don't give all that much. We didn't really use much of a item. Do I have we have two fetishes. We don't need anything. So I'm gonna have to chat with our companions, maybe try to spend some of this delicious karma. Survivability wouldn't be a bad idea. Not a bad idea at all. We were sort of in trouble in the last mission, already close to dying. Let's go back to what we were talking about before, you and me. Yeah, alright. I guess that there's still more to say. Okay. Carter's death hit you pretty hard. Yeah, she was a good one. We were a real team. Joining Lone Star helped me in all sorts of important ways, no doubt about it. I really embraced being a cop. I studied my ass off. No matter how hard I worked, I was never more than a model cop with a brutal streak. There were plenty of assignments that were perfect for a big mean orc like me. Assignments that would have fed my need to hurt people. Then I met Carter about a year in and she changed things. She talked about values and goals and priorities and constructing the life that you want to live. She was a real trip. Was like a good woman. She was a cop, a partner, a mentor, and a serious badass when she needed to be, but yeah, she was a good person too. She kept me focused. When Raymond asked me to meet him in Hong Kong, I had a feeling I was gonna wind up going off the reservation if I didn't bring Carter along. Now she's gone, and here I am. I say that you honor her memory by showing her how much you've learned. Whose mouth drops open and then curves into a grin. He shakes his head, still smiling. I'm sorry. Did Bob Cosman just give me sage advice? Just like you did some growing up of your own. You've been waiting for a long time to ask me about the night I left, haven't you? Who chuckles and hooks his thumbs in his belt. I guess I have, yeah. It's about what you were doing before you got thrown into that court facility. You said that you had a friend who was in a bind, but that was all you could say. How did it go? Went fine. Cakewalk, really. Nothing to talk about. Or we're not friends anymore. Cakewalk. Nothing to talk about. Whatever you say, Bob. Do you ever think about when we were kids? It begins moving through some sort of pattern. Might be Tai Chi. I try not to. What are you talking about exactly? The time before we moved in with Raymond and Miss Melanie. Oh, the dark times. We're not exactly talking about an idyllic youth here. Sleeping in dumpsters, running from ghouls, fighting over scraps. Who stops moving, drifts off for a moment, at defending your territory? If we hadn't found that spot in the abandoned building, found Lockjaw and Doubletray, we probably wouldn't be here. So weird to think about that now. I mean, you realize they were teenagers, right? Younger than Gubbet, and they felt so old back then. But Lockjaw couldn't be more than 17 tops. Doubletray? Doubletray was only 13 then. Who pauses again, lost in thought. What were you thinking about back then? Just thinking about that thing DT used to say. Who returns to his patterns? He manipulates an imaginary soap bubble between his hands. Improvise, adapt, overcome. That's how you beat the street, I remember. I remember Doubletray saying that. It was while we were living between the red hot nukes and the 162s. Crazy ass dwarf anarchists on one side and flesh eating ghouls on the other. Those are the days that you long for? Long for? No. I was just thinking that it's the same now as it was back then. His raspy baritone fills the space between you, bridges it. Survive and watch each other's back. Yeah, I know. What do you think about the last run? It was some real cloak and dagger shit, wasn't it? Hitting a high-tech weapons research lab, framing a tryout for the run, dealing with the other Shadowrunner teams. He shakes his head, smiling. Oh, and to top it all off, there was a laser gun there. A laser gun. If I didn't know any better, I think you enjoyed yourself. Hey, look. As a rule, I don't like running the shadows. Given my choice, I'd walk the straight and narrow. But if I'm gonna be a criminal, this is the kind that I wanna be. The kind with a laser gun. So, I've gotta admit, I was a little sad when you gave the thing to the other team. I mean, I get why you did it. Reputation is important and all that, but that weapon was an asset too. He shrugs. I don't know. It was a tough call. Let's hope that you made the right decision. Anyway, enough about that. Need anything else? Thinking about getting chromed up? We've had this conversation. Hmm. Hmm. Cool. You enter to find Wu stalking the floor silently, one hand held rigidly near his hip and the other flexing and unflexing again and again. When he notices you, he nods once and goes back to his cage panther routine. You're gonna wear a hole in the floor that way. Wu keeps pacing. Need something? Are you going to be okay? Yeah, just trying to maintain. Pacing helps. Been thinking about Josephine Chang. What she did to our family. What she did to Carter. His pace increases a bit. His tusks jut forward slightly. Josephine Chang. Goddamn Josephine Chang.
And
how I'm going to make her pay for it.
all that thinking and pacing, and that's what you come up with? That you're gonna make her pay for it?
I was thinking of all the ways I could make her pay.
Easy, Duncan. We don't really know what's going on, so maybe we shouldn't get fired up just yet.
Whose mouth becomes a straight line? That's what Carter used to say. Not this time, Bob. This time the old Duncan is coming out to play.
Whose eyes smolder?
Here's what we do. We walk into Chang headquarters and ask for the boss. When she comes down, we grab her, take her somewhere quiet and ask her why she had Carter and those runners killed. Find out what happened to Raymond, whether she's alive or dead. What happens next is up to her.
Yeah, that's a retarded thing to even suggest. I think the direct method will result in a quick death.
They'll never see it coming. That's why the plan's so beautiful. This is the way to go, my way.
Yeah, the unexpected thing is a surprise. It's an advantage, a genuine advantage, but um, doing unexpected things is not always doing the right thing or a good thing. Suddenly charging the defenses of your enemy is a very unexpected thing, certainly, because no one would be generally stupid enough to do that. She would not come to meet us. We could never get this to work. This is retarded. Now, where have I heard that before?
What? My way?
That's right.
There's one way this is gonna go.
He catches himself. Understanding appears in his eyes.
Oh crap. That's what Ray used to say. Payment Black, our benevolent dictator. No questioning his rules, no falling short of his expectations. It was his way or the wrong way.
Payment could be pretty harsh when we didn't live up to his standards.
Oh man, do you think? You remember what happened a few years after we moved out of the squad and into his house? The things with Doubletray and Lockjaw when he accused us of relapsing back into our old ways? Man, that was when Ray's authority finally got tested.
His raspy baritone is tinged with satisfaction.
When I finally stood up to him.
We couldn't hear a word you were saying. I'd never seen him so angry.
It was a sight to behold, that's for sure. I didn't listen, he didn't listen, and we butted heads. Same as always.
He smiles, but it's filled with regret.
But that one was the worst. Good thing you were there to stop it.
His face settles into an expression of resignation.
Okay, Mr. Kuzman. We don't need to do things my way. No need for us to butt heads.
He stretches, and you can hear his joints crack.
And on that note, I'm gonna have to ask you to clear out. It's been a long day.
Later, Duncan. Anything new? You find Wu sitting on his bed and staring at the floor when you come to his cabin. He rubs his head up and back, occasionally stopping to softly bounce his palm against his forehead. When he notices you, he closes his eyes and shakes his head.
Not in the mood to talk right now. I gotta wrap my brain around this Edward Chang thing.
Tough finding out Raymond isn't who we thought he was.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking. 16 years. We lived with him 16 years and we never knew the man. 16 motherfucking years. I just gotta think, work through this.
You walk into a mess. Half-eaten cans of food litter the floor, and personal equipment is strewn about in a haphazard fashion. Amid the mess, Wu sits in his bunk with his back against the wall. He has a PDA in his hand and he's staring down at it, sullen and morose. He doesn't acknowledge your entry. Now it's your turn to look like shit.
You know that's not true.
He doesn't look up.
You think something could make this look bad?
He waves his hand toward his face and along his body. No smile.
I suppose you want to talk.
What are you looking at on the PDA?
Video of Edward Chang.
Can I see it?
Sure, why not?
Who taps the button and turns the PDA around so you can see it? The footage shows a serious Chinese man in an expensive suit sitting behind a large solid wood desk covered in blueprints. The man is holding a magnifying glass over one of the plants and studying it intently. He folds the blueprint over and checks the one beneath it. The nameplate on the desk reads Edward Chang, Vice President of Special Projects. Video is rough and contains no sound. It may have been footage for a documentary that was never completed. The next shot is from some sort of planning meeting in a glass-enclosed conference room. The serious man is sitting at the conference table, pointing to a large map and looking up at the men standing around him. He is explaining something. They look at each other and nod, clearly impressed by what he has to say. The whiteboard at the end of the room bears the words, groundbreaking 21st May 2022, written in bold characters, Raymond's writing. The footage cuts to a scene of two people talking at the end of a long hallway. They don't appear to know what they're being recorded. It's the serious man listening intently to what an older woman has to say, nodding with his arms crossed and his thumb at his lips. The woman is the same one that was in the tapped video call that kindly Cheng showed you, Josephine Chan. She is somewhere in her late middle age, beautiful and very clearly in charge. The two look up at the same time, see the camera, and begin waving their hands for it to be turned up. The woman appears angry but cold. Video ends. Wu puts the PDA face down on his palm. Wu shrugs his shoulders, searches your eyes. Who is that guy? Guy who cleaned us up, gave us a home.
Not this guy. This guy is some corporate big shot. The man who raised me was a community organizer. He wore sweaters. Maybe when we find this plastic-faced man, we will get some more answers. Until then, Raymond Black is Raymond Black, and this guy is someone else.
Been thinking about the way you and Raymond used to butt heads.
What about it?
I'm not going to talk to Gobet like this. We can probably get her to go to some point too. I'm trying to get Duncan to the point where she is going to give us some kind of a mission. And then we'll go to Isabel's mission very likely. or the other capture mission. Blah, 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 blah. I think that's one of the reasons you were angry with me when I left. I had a better relationship with him. No, I never really had that problem with him.
Of course not. You knew how to avoid conflict with him, and you had that way of diffusing him when he started with that intense array thing he used to do, remember?
I haven't thought of that in a long time.
I think you were the one who came up with that name. It was like this summer after we started living with him and Mrs. Melanie. Raid found out that we hadn't followed one of his rules. I don't remember which. There was a long list.
I wonder if that's a coincidence. List of rules, always follow. Okay. You'd bought some nerfs. He hated crap like that. I don't know.
No, that wasn't it. I think he caught me smoking. Yeah, that's right. I was smoking, he was pissed and said that fat kids who smoke die faster. So just to be obstinate, I told him I like to smoke and we got into it. Then you came in and diffused the whole situation.
Who stops talking and his expression becomes thoughtful.
I think that's why I was so resentful when you took off, especially after Mrs. Melanie died. You were the only one who could get through to him when he became intense away.
Like the day the 162 decided they wanted our squad.
Don't want to talk about that right now. I've got enough on my mind as it is. Stuff like my father betraying my trust.
Okay. Oh, it didn't go anywhere yet. But I'm cool with it. We're gonna go on a mission. We have 3. So Isabel's jobs: go to Shangri-La and kidnap Rooster Lowe, or travel to the MV Nalchi, a ship, and steal the data and tissue samples. I think Isabel's job. I'd like to get those companion quests done as soon as they start coming our way. Maybe Wu doesn't have one. That's certainly a possibility. I'm pretty sure Gobbet is going to have one then. Yep. Which one we're gonna take? Kidnap mission and Wu would go well together. I'll talk with Maximum Law. He offered some money for information. Metadata. You tell me what you've got. The network runs on information. Maybe some of this is something we don't want to sell. Like Red Dragon Association getting framed. I mean, the entire point is to not have information about it being a frame up, being out there, so... Vampire Associate, yeah. Recent heist at the Emperor's... I don't know if I want to tell any of this. It's sort of a... It would be betraying the confidence that we're running on our jobs on. Confidentiality is a big thing. A lot of the real objective are often hidden, and this would basically ruin the entire thing in a way. So, but you could milk more money out of it. I wonder if there's a consequence to you doing that. Maybe you can get favors from the tech guys. Still, I'm not convinced we should do that. Want to see how much medical equipment costs. Maybe we should talk to more of these too. You can only buy advanced medkits. When we get the real good medkits, medkits 3, then I'll think I'll buy. We have 1s and 2s now. 1s are basically worthless now already. Talking to these guys we might be able to get something out of them. Ask a few questions. He's works with cybernetics, but still he hasn't replaced any of his own missing limbs with cybernetics. So that would be a genuine question. Why? Why? I suppose if we could buy, there's no way we can get another etiquette unless we buy some kind of a... We could buy a fetish. It's a charisma and spirit summoning, I think, or spirit control. There's no immediate problem with that. Yeah, I don't really know what to take. I don't get this. Spirit summoning. Used by a shaman to summon spirits. The higher the skill, the more powerful the summoned spirit. However, it's a totem-based thing at the moment. So how is this gonna help? Is this going to just affect the spirits I can summon during a mission? I don't really get it. Yeah, I'm not fully on this. Hellstorm Barrier. Dodge. Further reduces the chance to be hit by physical attacks. Wisdom helps boost resistance against certain magical attacks. I don't know where to put points. Because I'm not sure. Yeah, we could push for another etiquette. Having a strong charisma has worked for us quite often, but we have something like charisma 6 has been the highest required so far. We already have 8, so we can push it to 9 or 10. Is it worth it? 9 is the last one we can put in here, so that will still leave us with 20 points. Could easily take more conjuring. I don't think I'll take anything. We really should. After this mission, whatever I'm going to go next, I have to make a choice, one way or another. I'm sort of waiting on the next tier of spells coming our way, because we need a certain level of conjuring to take what we want, and it would be great to have the points needed there. And any extra after that we can just throw wherever. We're not going to get new spells after doing the next mission. I'll probably take extra charisma, maybe try to get to the next tier of etiquette, which would give us charisma 10, which is fantastic, and hopefully it'll give some use. It increases the chance to hit with offensive conjuring spells, but I think conjuring does the same thing. The main component to calculate the chance hit. So yeah, we're better off raising conjuring. Um, we don't have the spells really at the moment to take advantage of it. But yeah, we'll probably take at least a couple of points of conjuring. Maybe try to take the charisma. That'll be more than we have points for at the moment, but if we do one more mission, we should be able to afford that. After that, it doesn't particularly matter. Maybe more spirit summoning, maybe more survivability, but that's it. We don't really need anything after that. Even if we don't get extra charisma, I'm pretty sure the character we have at that point is going to be good enough, no matter what comes our way.